Okay, so as we consider this question, do you own your body? We have to remember that there are going to be some people who answer that question by saying, no, actually, I don't own my body. The ultimate owner of my body is God, or some divine being, the source of all creation. And that position is not in conflict with ethical libertarianism, even though ethical libertarianism asserts as a foundational value bodily ownership. And the reason that there's no conflict between these two positions is that when a libertarian asks this question about bodily ownership, they're asking it not from within a theological framework, but from within a legal framework. In other words, what they're asking is this, is that here you are going about your daily business within a number of systems, right? Social systems, legal systems, economic systems. And what they're asking is, as you go about your life moving throughout these different systems, do you have a rightful claim to be the legal owner of your body that you're moving through these systems in? And to that question, most people are going to say, well, yeah, I'm not enslaved. And unless I've joined the military and I've agreed to give ownership of my body over to the government, I remain the owner of my body. And even if I were the subject of a king who claims ownership of my body, I could still object and say, you don't own my body, or you don't have a rightful claim to own my body. You shouldn't own my body. I should be the rightful owner of my body, legally speaking. Okay, so the libertarian's going to say, okay, so if you agree that you have, if you are the owner of your body in a legal sense, there are going to be some ethical implications to that position. Specifically, having to do with your labor, the work you do, okay? And the libertarian's going to say, if you use your body to perform work, do you own that labor, okay? Is that labor yours? And most people are going to respond to that question by saying, well, yeah, and again, unless I'm enslaved, I own the labor that I perform with my body, and I only give this labor to somebody else if I can do so freely and voluntarily. And if somebody coerces me into doing that, then I'm no longer free. And if I'm not free, then I can't rightfully be said to be the owner of my body. But I'm asserting that I am the owner of my body. So if I'm the owner of my body, I must also be the owner of my labor. And so the ethical libertarian is going to point at us once again and say, okay, do you then also own the fruits of your labor? So let's say that I go out and I buy some plants with my own money, buy them legally, I plant them in my backyard, and I water them and I weed them and I tend them, and then one day I get these big, beautiful tomatoes. Do I own those tomatoes? And again, most people are going to look at that and say, well, yeah, these are literally the fruits of your labor. And then we might even extend this further into sort of more symbolic kinds of fruit, where we say, if I take a job for somebody else with an agreement to perform some kind of labor for this person in exchange for the fruits of a paycheck or money, when I receive that money, can I be said to be the rightful owner of those fruits of my labor? And again, most people would say yes. And so what we're going to explore in the next couple of lectures is how we negotiate this balance between what we rightfully claim ownership to and our obligations to the society we live in and the other people we live with.